Yeah. Is my screen is visible to everyone? Is it clear?
Yes, yes, it's
Oh,
visible.
okay, done. Now, let us go through today's class. See, first, Power BI desktop. I'm opening this Power BI desktop. So after this class, I will share the source file. Okay, how to what are the source file that I'm using from the day one to day last. Like after the 60 days of the course, I have compiled what are the source file that I am using. After the class, I will share the recording to you. And apart from that, I will share the source file so that you can directly connect to that source files and you can practice after the class. Okay. Once you do the Power BI desktop, I have already said let us start from how to extract the data. So the blank data, data which is Excel data which is stored in the desktop, so that it will be easy for you. It will be repetitive task for you so that you can understand how we are connecting the data. So once you open the blank report, see same. This is a Power BI interface that I have explained. So from where you can, this is a Power BI desktop. This is the general interface of Power BI desktop. And this is the area where you can build your visuals. Okay. Now we are going to get data. So right now we are connecting to one Excel file. This is the Excel. In the Excel, I want to take some tables. What are the tables that I want to? Suppose I want the date dimension table. Okay. This will be useful for analysis. So I select. And one more thing, at a time, you can select only one file. So if you select the control button and if you select the employee also, I'm selecting the control button, but it is not possible for me to load like attachment where you are attaching in the mail like 2 to 3 attachment that you can attach at one time. But this is not possible in case of this. At a time, you can load only one table. So I'm loading the date dimension, selecting the date dimension table and click on open. So I already said that data will be loaded. Loaded data, see here it will show it has only one column which is called dim date. That means dim date means dimension date. Select that, okay, and load it. See, it is loading. Yes, dimension date, and these are the columns it has. Now, apart from that, yesterday we have connected to another table called as employee department table. This is the employee department table. So select the employee department table, click on open. The employee department table, it has three different shade: department, employee, and manager. Here you can select three sheets at a time: employee, department, employee. Once you select any sheet, the data which is present in that sheet is visible, the last selected one. I'm selecting the last one, manager. So that at manager, you can see about whether your data is correct and you can load it. Right. This table has loaded. Again, you can go to get data, Excel. Apart from dimension employee, I go to download section. I can click on orders table. So the download section, sample superstore data. Okay, this is sample superstore data. I have selected. Select the order table. Yeah, we are selecting orders table, people's table, and returns table. Okay, these are the three tables that we have loaded and loaded. Orders, people's, and returns. Yeah. Now this is how we can extract the data. So it is very simple. Like from today, from the next class, what I will do directly, I will use the Power BI desktop where all these three tables are directly loaded into the Power BI desktop to save some time. So this is a general process how you can extract the uh, data, how to extract the tables into your Power BI desktop. Now, what are the topic we are discussing today? First part will be the Power Query. So after the class also, I will share some slides to you. So that slides will also helpful for you. like we had discussed about the Power BI interface. Look, I will share the slides. So it will be easy for you to how to what is the ribbon pane, what is the query setting pane, in a, to watch it in a single view. It will be helpful for you. Okay. Now, what I will do, I want to transform the data. I want to transform the data. So how I can transform the data to enter into the Power Query? Power Query is useful for the transforming the data. So you need to go to where transform data. Then click on the transform data over here. So when you click on the transform data, you will go to the interface called as Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor is an interface where you can transform your data, where if your data is unorganized data, or if you want to make the transformation, or by using this data, if you want to derive any some new information, that this transformation can be played here in the Power Query. So that's why it called as Power Query Editor. Okay. Now, what is a basic transformation I want to make it? So I want to go to, these are the tables that we have loaded. It will be represented here in this, we call it as query setting panes. I already said what is meant by queries. Queries are nothing but the tables. But in the general Power BI desktop, in the data section, it you'd have visible, but in the Power Query, it will be visible at the top left. Now, what I will do, I go for the orders table. So I will make, suppose I will take any single column and basic transformation I will do. So the first most important interview question is they will ask you have some in home tab you have these options. Okay, when you go to the transform tab you have these options. When you go to the add column you have these options. Okay, but when you look at the transform tab, you have the options. You can see many transformation. When you go to the add column also, we have this conditional column, duplicate column. Same options, more or less some 50% of options will be same for this transform tab and this add column tab. Some options are same. See, when you look at the transform tab, suppose I have a date column here in the transform tab, I have a date column. Okay. Now I am going to add column. In the add column also, I have date column. This the date menu. So through this, I can make the transformation. Now you have to what? Then they will ask in the interview, what happens when you make the transformation to the transform tab? What happens when you make the transformation to through add column? The difference here is when you make any transformation by using the transform tab in this particular column, the data will be changed in within that column only. Okay, now I am saying in the transform tab, I am going to date column. In the date column, I am going to year. In the year, I am trying to extract the year. So in the same column, previously with which we have date, month and year, only year column get extracted and the transformation will be taken place within that column itself. No additional column will be created when you make the transformation by using the transform tab. So in the date also, suppose I have to get one step back, how I can go here? This is the any step that we create in the Power Query, one additional step, like in the applied step, the step is added. You know that they will ask if you make any transformations, that transformations are recorded in which place in the Power Query? Answer is in applied steps. When you want to go one step back, you can go here and go to the one step back. So same in the orders table, in the date table, suppose instead of year, I want to select the start of the year. Okay, when you select the start of year, in that particular year, what is the first date? So every year will start from first January 1st, 2016. Every year starts from first. Suppose this is the 2016. January 1st will be the first year. So the first date of that year will be displayed over here, and the transformations are taking place within that table, right? So here, when you look at the applied steps, it is showing calculated the start of year. 2016 start of year is January 1st. 2015 start of year is January 1st. 2017 start of the year is January 1st. Like that, it will extract the start of the year. So again, if you go to the date, in this also it will go like in the year start of the year. End of the year means December 31st. For some, December 31st will be the end of year. So that will be extracted over here. Okay, will not use this in some cases. It will be useful. So, but just to make you understand, if you use the transform tab, the data will be transformed in this particular column itself. Okay, it is calculated end of that year. That applied step is recorded over here. In the same data also, when you see about the month also, we have many options. So in that, my requirement is I want to extract the month of only month name from it. What is the month name? That is month number. It is 11, 11, 6. This middle is the month, right? So I want to extract that only month. When you click on the month, see, previously we have date, month, and year. Only month name is extracted. Okay, this is how you can. Now you don't want to extract the month name. If your requirement is, I want to extract the names of month. That means name of the month. That means if it is 11, it should be represented as November. If it is 6, it should be represented for May, June, like that. So in that case, if you want to know, you can come and extract the name of the month. See, only the in between the month name will be reflected. So this is the transformation we have studied when you go to the transform tab. Now what happens? I will go to one step back. Let us go to the normal order date. Now I will perform same operation by using add column. Okay, this is add column. I'm going to date. Here same month. I'm extracting the name of the month. What you can find. See here the order date will be like this same only. But when you come at the dead right end of your Power Query, the tables, see here a month name is created. That means a separate column will be created when you perform the Power Query transformation by using the add column. But when you make the transformation by using the option present in the transform tab, the transformation will be taking place within the same column. No additional column will be created. So for any freshers or everyone, they will ask this question: what is the difference you notified by using the transform tab by add column? Then you need to answer a simple question. Within the column, if the transformation take place without creating any add column, then the transformation is to transform tab. But my requirement is, if I make any transformation, a additional column should be created at the dead end. Then you go for the add column option and you make the necessary transformation. Okay, this is how you need to understand the difference between the transform tab and add column tab. In this option, same you can explore. Start of the month means January 1st, first will be end of the month, December 31st. Days in a month. Some month will have 30 days, some month will be have 31 days. If you want to extract in this order date, I want to extract, I will go to the transform tab and I will explain. So that you can see the results over here itself instead of going at the date right end. So in the month, we can extract the days in a month. So it will give you 30. So for some months, it will give 30, 31. Uh, that based upon, so March it will have 31 and January it will have 30. So those months will be. So if you want to see better, if you want to see which month it is there previous, you can perform by using the add column. Like suppose here, I want to perform through this add column. Okay, in the date, I'm coming to month, in the days in a month. Okay, this 30. So if I want to move this column over here, so select this column over here and you can move it right side, just dragging, you can see here. Yeah, see month it is November. Like if you see from here, you can extract the month names from the transform tab. Just I will try to extract in the month and extract the name of the month. See, November it has 30. For June it has 30. For October you have 31. June you have 30. So how many days are there in a month that you can extract by using the days in a month? Okay, That is a very simple thing that you can understand. Reorder the column I'm removing, certain days I'm removing, insert month name. So I'm coming over here. So I have given this example to understand what type of the difference that you can find when you go to the add column tab and once you go through transform tab. Okay. So every transformation that will be mentioned over here, you will be mentioning here where in the append steps. Now let us go to the one view sections. Okay. So we have loaded three different tables, right? So department employee table, it is coming from one Excel sheet. Okay. Dimension date, it is stored in somewhere in the desktop. It is coming from different sheet. Orders, people, return state, returns table. These are coming from the different one Excel sheet. But when you look at directly, you don't know which sheet from the data is coming from which Excel sheet by looking at this data. So again, in the next day, I will load some data from one Excel sheet. But by looking at this, you cannot say the data is coming from which table or which Excel sheet. So it becomes very hard for you because uh, we have a three tables. We can remember like dimension. This is data from one table. Employee department table is coming from one table, and orders people return table are coming from one table that we have extracted. Uh, just we have remembered. But after connecting from many table, if somebody third person is coming and he cannot able to understand what is the data source of this per table and it is coming from which Excel sheet. So how you can view it? So in that you can have a one option called as view. Once you go to the view, in the view also we will have one option called as query dependencies. Queries are nothing but table dependencies. This table are coming from which source it will give the information. Go to the view and ask for in the interview they will ask in the real time you have done many tables into the your Excel sheet into your Power BI desktop, and I want to know each and every table is coming from which data source. What is the data source? So how you can able to get that information in the Power Query? So the answer is in the we need to go to the option called in the view. You need to go to the option called as query dependencies. Once you go to the query dependencies, so I will try to zoom it. Yeah, see this dimension date dim table. It is coming from when you keep the cursor. This is the dimension date. It is a one column. Keep the cursor name the source. It is coming from Janardhan Patipaka downloads. In the downloads date dimension table is there. It is coming from download session. So this table is linked to one Excel sheet. Now same way when you come to this. We have department table, employee table, manager table. These three tables are these three sheets are coming from which source? Just keep the cursor over here. See in the CUR Janardhan, it is coming from desktop. In the desktop, I have shared one employee department XLS. That means it is stored in the Excel sheet. In the desktop, these three tables, department table, employee table, and manager table are coming. Then you can drag right over here. Again, I have loaded one another sheet. What is orders table, people's table, returns table? These are the three different tables, right? All these tables are linked to this data source. So what is the data source? Just keep the cursor over here. It is coming from Janardhan downloads sample superstore data. That means it is coming from the downloads where I have stored this Excel sheet in downloads. And at the end, you can see XLS. That means it is also a Excel sheet. So why this is necessary? Because they want to know here we connected these three data sources by using the Excel sheet. Sometimes you can connect some data through the SQL server. Sometimes you may connect to the data through your Dataverse. Sometimes you load the tables from different Oracle database. In that condition, if you want to see all the tables are coming from which data source in a in a single go, then the query dependencies is an option which is present in the view tab. That view tab that will helps you to the information from the data source. The interview will ask in a different question. Can it is possible to connect through the multiple data sources? So if I have connected the data to multiple data sources, I want to see in a single go, what is the source of my data set. So which option will helpful in the Power View, in Power Query? Then you can say in the View tab we have the query dependencies. That from that you can say the tables are coming from the which data source. So this is one of the interview question that you need to answer. Okay. Now you can ask me, there is a one important concept, you can call it as actually data type. Very important. So in order to understand the data type, first I will explain you what is the importance of the data type. And one more thing, so you need to understand, making this transformation is easy. You can understand, but you need to understand how the work is going at the back end. That means how they will ask you a question, how data processing will takes place at Power Query. Okay, data processing. See, in the data processing, whatever here we have, suppose this is a ship date. So in the ship data, like transform the data. So you make a, suppose we have learned how to extract, suppose to extract year, we are selecting year means it is extracting year. Suppose in the order date also, the simple example, you are extracting the month, name of the month, it is giving the name of the month over here. You are coming, suppose some basic transformation in the ship mode. You are in the ship mode, you are selecting the format, you are selecting the uppercase, so it is coming to the uppercase. So all these are transformations are, it is recorded, right, this in the applied steps. So if you want to see these transformations in the home tab, there is one option called as advanced editor. Okay, there is one option called as advanced editor. Once let us open this advanced. So we made this three simple transformation that I have explained the previous also. So in the home tab, we have an option called as advanced editor. Just we need to click on this advanced editor. See, in the advanced editor, each step the formulas are written in the orderly manner. So first, this source, order sheet, promoted headers, change data. These four will be the default steps. Okay. Once you load into the Power BI desktop, it will write backend, it will write mashup language. But these will be the four default steps that will automatically written by the Power Query itself when you connect to any Excel sheet. That is standard. Okay, from here, this extracted here. See, it will give the information extracted here, ship date from the date dot year column. From the ship date, it has extracted the year. Then extracted the month name from order name. It has extracted the month name. And table transformation, ship date, uppercase test ship date, upper test. That means in the ship date, we have made the letters into the uppercase. So all this steps, step by step, if you want to see, here you can see the only in applied steps, only steps are recorded, what are the steps. But if you want to see what is happening inside that particular step in a step by step manner, how it is the formulas are executing, then advanced editor is the option that you can see, where it will record the sequential step by step process which is happening in each transformation, and it will show what is the formula, what is the mashup code it is writing at the back end. So this is called as advanced editor. They will ask in the interview, like if we want to see, we have performed many Power Query transformation and how each step is executed by using the mashup code. If you want to see it in a single go, which option in the Power Query will helpful? The answer will be advanced editor. Okay, through this advanced editor you can see. And what are they will ask, what are the first three steps? The first three steps in the advanced editor. First, it will show the source file. Okay, source file means that data source is coming from which. Janardhan, this is order stable, right? Order stable is coming from Janardhan Patipaka sample superstore. That is the source. Second, it will show navigation. Second step, we call it as navigation. Navigation means in that, out of all the three sheets, in the order table you are working. So order sheet, that is called as navigation. Third step is promoted headers. That means it will assign the headers to all. Like I have already said, like previously, if you load the data, Power Query itself assign the headers. If the headers are not perfectly assigned, you need to go and check use row as first row as header. That step is also automatically detected. That is called promoted headers. Now it will go the fourth, promoted headers mean assigning headers to the particular tables, we call it as promoted headers. You need to see, suppose in this promoted headers in the order table, it's not a problem for us. See, the headers are perfectly arranged. A Power Query itself arranged, these headers are arranged. So that way this promoted header step, this source, navigation, promoted, change. These four are the default steps that Power Query itself do when you load the data into your Power BI desktop. Okay. Now here this step, then you need to look at when you go to the people table, see promoted headers, it has promoted, it has given the column name and column two. It has not give assign the headers perfectly. Now you need to assign the address perfectly because the person, these are the person names, region, these are the region names. We need to give the headers perfectly. So this is a very simple step. You can use first row as an headers. Yes. Change data type previously it has failed. If you made some changes, it will assign change type one that you made. Now in the returns table also, see returns table order ID, these are the headers, but these are not perfectly arranged because when Power Query confused, instead of giving, it will keep the data like that and column one and column two, it will give the default headers, column one, column two, column three, column four. Now as a Power BI developer, you need to see whether these headers are perfectly assigned. So we found some issue. So we'll go to the use first row as an headers, click on use first row as of headers, then headers are perfect. So actually these four steps will be the default steps. And from the next step, what are the instructions that will make, it will be recorded over here. Now, this is the case. Now you can ask me how data processing will takes place using the Power Query. So in the Power Query, actually, if you make any transformation, see, just we are playing with the option. Yesterday, like one student was asking, sir, there are many options there in the transform tab. So whether I can able to remember that this many options, it's not a problem. It's very easy. All the options are very straightforward, and there is nothing to worry. The options are more than 30, but as the time passes, it will be very easy for you to understand and don't look at the confuse because it is once you have some Excel knowledge, it will be very easy. Power Query will be very easy. The first part because you are only there are options which option you need to choose to shape your data that is only there in the Power Query first 10 of the classes, but this is very important, but you have minimum knowledge, just this option will speak itself. See whether you can this, I will keep these four options. Let us see whether there will be nothing in it when you look at the order ID. Suppose this is the table you are selected. Now I'm selecting this choose column option. Okay, what is meant by choose column? Suppose there are in the real time there are 10 or 20 tables that we have connected. Okay, this time, but in the real time what happens, you may connect to the 50 or 100 tables. Okay, so at that time if there are 10 tables, I'm dragging like this, it's okay for me. So if in the real time if you connect to the a table which is having more than 200 columns, so like this dragging, it will take a lot of time. In that condition, suppose my requirement is I want to go to the state column. I want to go to this profit column which is there at here in the discount column. uh, so I can go to this choose column over here, right? In the choose column, in this choose column, I need to go to the go to column, select on go to column. In the go to column, what column I need to go? I need to go to the profit column. I have already said, right? In the profit column which is dead at the right end here, the last one, I will select on this profit, then click on OK. So you have gone to the profit column over here. Now there is another way. Same, I go to the choose column, go to column. Instead of going to the profit column, see, suppose there are only 10 or 20 tables, you have read table by table and came to the profit. But there is one issue with this. What is the issue? These tables are arranged accordingly how the tables are reflected over here. See here, while loading the order table, order ID stored first, order ID. Based upon this order, you can see the order is same. But if you, what happens, suppose 1 lakh rows, like 10,000 rows are, 10,000 columns are there in particular table. In that condition, what happens, you need to check column by column. Then also it will take time. So in that case, you need to come over here and you need to sort this order by using A to Z. This actually it is in the natural order. What is meant by the natural order? The tables which are stored initially, that is called natural order. So when you look at the natural order, it is not correct representation. If you go to the name, once you click on the name, the difference you can find. What is the difference? It is stored in the alphabetic order. So first C, D, then P, Q, R, S. So when I want to go to the profit column, profit starts with P, then directly I will go to P over here, and if I select the profit, and I will go directly to the profit column. So in the real time, if you connect it to the tables, we're having hundreds or 150 tables. Instead of using the natural order in the go column, better you can select the A to Z sorting from the natural order. You need to select to the sorting alphabetic order, then the alphabetic order it will be sorting, then it will be easy for you. Okay, now same option, choose column. In this we have many options over here, like we want to choose column. In the choose column option, see what happens here, what is meant by the choose column. In this, in the real time we have many data sets. Like if you connected to in the real time, there will be in the particular table, we will be having many columns, like hundreds of the tables. But my requirement is, for my analysis, there all columns are not necessary. Only few columns are necessary that will be useful for my analysis. So suppose 100 tables are there. You are enough confident that the columns which are there, only 10 or 12 columns that are essential for my report building, and I don't want other columns. Okay. Why you are going doing like this? Because if you load the lot of tables, suppose in this particular item, if you load, you are thinking that only five columns are necessary. How out of 100 columns? If 95 columns you are storing over here, unnecessary, you are building the burden on your Power Query. Okay, you try to minimize the burden on your Power Query. So load the tables here, also load the tables which are necessary. Okay, then if you want to go to the choose column, in the choose column, I don't want all this table. When it is select all columns are selected, you are enough confident that for my analysis only this row ID, order ID, order date, ship date, I want city, state, region information, product information, category, subcategory. This information are enough for me. Select OK. Only that columns which are selected will be reflected over here. See, we have selected only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 7 columns, and removed all other columns will be removed. Okay, remove all the columns which are not selected will be removed. And if you want to see, you can see removed other columns. The step is recorded. So only selected columns will be represented over here, and other columns will be removed when you go for choose column option. So that choose, when you apply the choose column option here, the applied step record removed other column. What is meant by removed other column? That means that's only in the choose column what the columns you select, that column will remain and other column will disappear. That's why a step is recorded called as removed other columns. Okay. Now if you want to go one step back, see, choose columns, go to columns, see directly. These are very user-friendly menu-based options. When you look at this remove columns, see what is meant by remove column. They will ask in the question for a freshers or for 2 years freshers, or they will ask in the Power Query options. They we have remove columns and remove other columns. What is the difference between remove columns and remove other columns? Okay, remove column means suppose I want to remove this row ID, order ID, order date. So if you want to select one column, just you kill you once I click on remove column, that column will be removed. Suppose I'm selecting remove column, row ID I have selected, I click on remove column. What happened? See, removed columns, which is removed, order ID which is there at the first, that is removed. Okay, that is deleting the how. This is how you can delete a single column. I'm going to one step back. Now you can ask me, I want to delete 3 columns, first 3 columns, how I can delete? So in order to delete 3 columns, you need to click on the control button, select row ID, order date. Just you need to click on the control button, select those columns which you want delete, go for the remove columns, again go for remove columns. When you click on the remove columns, first 3 columns repeated, and the table will start from ship date. Okay, so I'm clicking the remove column. See, removed column. First three column will be deleted and the data is starting from ship date. Okay, this is remove column. So this you have understood. Just I'm going one step back, a normal one. Now there is an option called as remove other columns. What is meant by remove other columns? Suppose if I select, my requirement is I want only first this order date and ship date, order ID, ship date, and order ID, order date, ship date. I want only these three columns in my table. Remaining all other columns should not be represented and they should be deleted. Okay, so that is my requirement. In that case, what happens? If you want only this column means select that columns only. I select the order ID, order date, ship date. Select these three columns. Go to remove other columns. What happens remove other columns means when you use remove other columns, only selected columns will be remain in the table and all other columns like row ID, ship ID, customer ID, those columns will be deleted. That is the simple understanding. So I am clicking on same control button, clicking on remove other columns. See, I have selected order ID through the control button, order date and ship date. These three columns only remained over here and remaining columns are deleted. This is called as remove other columns. When you closely observed, when I use the choose column also, what is meant by choose column? When you use the choose column, selected columns will be selected and all other column will be removed. For the choose column option, for remove other column option, the applied steps will be same, removed other columns only. Okay, choose column also. What is meant by choose column? The tables columns you selected, you will choose it. When you click on OK, that columns will be choose, remove column will be deleted. In the remove other column also, it is doing the same step. So if the interview, they will ask what is meant by remove column and remove other column, you need to say if you use remove column, the selected columns will be deleted. When you use remove other columns, selected columns will remain and all other columns, the columns which are not selected will be deleted. So that is the difference between remove columns and remove other columns. Okay, let us go to one step back over here, remove other columns. And now they're asking what is meant by keep rows. Okay, what is meant by keep rows? Remove rows. So keep rows. See, if you want to top rows, you could go for keep top rows. If you want some bottom rows, you want to keep the range of rows. If you want to get duplicate, this we will be discussing. Why I have explained this? Because the two other students, they have asked me, it's like whether I am able to learn this course because of this many options, how many options that more than hundreds option of types of option, whether I am able to, it becomes a tough task for me. So it is not will be like that, because once do the transformation without knowing, by looking at this you can see it is difficult, but once you take the data, make the transformation, then try to practice by using the data, so then it will become easy for you. Okay, it's not a big deal. Now, actually we are doing this menu based option backend, it is writing some formula. But as a Power BI developer, you need to understand how the data processing will be taking place by using the Power BI. Okay. See, the first step they will ask in this interview question, how data processing will takes place by using the Power BI. This will be the some conceptual question. So if they will ask such question, you need to understand, you need to say in Power Query, we perform, while perform the ETL activities, we don't write any code. That is the first step. Whether we are writing any code over here, just we are playing with the options. We are giving them, selecting the options, then backend it is writing code. So we perform the ETL operation by using these options, we call it as GUI options. That is called as graphical interface option. All these options that we are using, right? These options like in the home tab, like in the add column tab, remove, these are called GUI options. So we perform the ETL process by using these GUI options, only selecting this option, but we are not writing any code. But while behind any transformation, when you look at the other code, go to the advanced editor, it is writing some code at the backend. It will write some code at the backend for every step you perform. A step is created, and in the advanced editor, a code is created. this code we call it as mesh up language or M language. Okay, because for every GUI option, already a code will be generated at the back end. So it is not necessary. If you don't understand this mesh up language code, it's not a problem. Just you need to know how to interpret this code. See, just extracted month name from ship date. We have extracted the month name. This is the previous step. So in the ship mode, text upper. That means ship mode column. We have connected the change the text to upper. In the order date, from the order date, we have extracted the month. In the ship date, from the ship date, we have extracted the year. So like that type of interpretation is necessary, but no need to learn this code actually, this mashup language code. Okay. Now, then this is how the data processing will take place. Data processing will take place. You need to say, we will work on GUI options. We play with the options, but the backend it will write a code in the advanced editor. That code we call it as mashup language code, or we call it as M language. Now, how ETL activities happen in the Power Query. So once you load the data, how the ETL activity takes place in the Power Query. So to understand this, you need to go to first, yeah. Once you load the data into the Power Query, what happens? Suppose we have loaded this order table, dimension table. What happens? Initially, Power Query will bring the only the data. Suppose we are bringing the table, this orders table. What happens? First, the Power Query will bring only column profiling based on 1,000 rows. That means it will make the transformations, whatever the transformation that we are making. What are the transformations? Suppose in this order ID, suppose from order ID, I'm using split column. So suppose I'm removing this column. Okay. In the remove columns order ID. So this is one of the transformation that I've removed column is order ID removed. That is one of the transformation. So once you load the data into the Power Query, what the Power Query will do, it will it will delete the rows. It will perform the ETL operations on only first 1,000 rows. That's why in the down you can say column profiling based on 1,000 rows. First, it will perform the activities on only first 1,000 rows. Okay. But if you want to save this transformation, so we made some transformation in the Power Query. You want to save the transformation. So where you we need to come here, close and apply. So when you click on close and apply, suppose here actually the rows are more than 9,000 place, more than 1,000 rows we have. But while representing, it is showing only 1,000 rows. So suppose in the real time, assume it has 1 lakh rows. But while making the transformation, it will do column profiling and it will transform only first 1,000 rows itself. But when you click on close and apply, actual transformation will be taking place when you click on the actual ETL process happens when you click on that close and apply. Okay. So first between each transformation, then why this Power Query you can ask me. So your transform data you have done. Then once click on the close and apply, you will come over here in the normal Power BI desktop. Now you can ask me, sir, why it is doing the ETL process initially only on first 1,000 rows. And when you click on the close and apply and remaining 1 lakh rows or more 99,000 rows, it is performing after click on close and apply. That means between each transformation, it want to reduce the data transformation time. Okay. If all the 1,000 transformation, we want to go to the transform time. If you want to go to the Power Query, if all that, whatever the single transformation that you are making in the real time, if you have 1 lakh data, if it will do the column profiling on that 1 lakh time, it will take lot of time uh, to update the data or to record that transformation. So in order to save the data transformation time, in order to save the runtime, Microsoft this Power Query, initially it will do the operation on only first 1,000 rows. Once you click on close and apply, at the back end, remaining the what are the remaining rows are there, that transformations will be taking place when you apply on close and apply, then only remaining transformation will be take place. In order to save your report data transformation time, the Power Query will do the column profiling or it will do the transformation time on only first 1,000 rows. But when actual ETL process will takes place when you click on the close and apply button only. Your transformation will be saved. Your transformations will be recorded. Your actual transformations will be applied throughout your data table or throughout your data set when you click on close and apply. Just to save at the time, Power Query will bring the 1,000 rows itself into your Power BI desktop, make the transformation on 1,000. When you click on close and apply, then remaining transformation will be done at the back end. So this is how the ETL activities will happen in the Power Query. Okay, how data processing will take place on Power Query. If they ask the question, so you need to answer in Power Query. We will not write any code. We just play with the menu based option. But for every menu based option, a code will be generated at the back end. That code we call it as mesh up language, and all the steps are recorded in the applied steps, and in the advanced editor each steps recorded information will be represented. So this because these are the questions they are asking, so you need to answer this question in a logical manner how the data processing will takes place. Okay, now the important concept I will like to discuss, these are many questions they are asking on some important question called data type concept. Very important topic, data type concept. So uh, I have this slide. If it is there, it will be useful for you. Yes, I have. See, for this, everything we have the notes for it. If I say directly, see what is the difference between transform time and tab. But if I share, because you will not listen the class with careful, so I will share after the class. Usually I do it. See, yesterday we have discussed about this Power Query interface. See this table, this we call it as query pane, where the tables are recorded. This week it is called as formula pane. From here you can see wherever the steps are recorded, we call it as query setting pane. And wherever the ribbons which are there, we call it as ribbon pair or Power Query ribbon. Where the data is present, we call it as data results pane. So what are the transformations we have discussed step by step we have recorded over here. Once you just within after complete the Power Query within 1 or 5 minutes that you can see data source information that we can record it here. It is coming from this data. Okay. See here also how data processing taking place using Power BI. In Power Query, we will not don't write any code. We perform ETL activities. Those options we are used called graphical user interface. Behind every GUI option, Microsoft already written a code. When you use GUI option, code will be executed and provide the result. Advanced data. GUI means the GUI code is mashup language. How ETL process will happen in query. When we bring the tables from me, Power Query bring only first 1,000 rows. Initially, Power Query will transform the data on 1,000 rows. When you click on close and apply, all transformation will be loaded into Power Pivot. Actual ETL process will take place when you click on close and apply. Between each transformation to reduce the data transfer time, Microsoft is bringing 1,000 rows. So this is in the step that it is will a quick reason for you. Okay, because this already I explained 1 or 2 times in the class. It's not a big deal, but just to have a quick recap. Now this data type. What actually to understand the data type, these slides are very important. Before giving the data type information, I need to explain why this data type concept is very important. First, you need to understand why this data type concept got so much importance. Okay, let us see with the example. Then you need to be able to understand. Right. I go to the orders table. Right. Now, yeah. See, I want to go to the sales table. I'm wasting some time in order to go to the sales table like this. Okay, I'm not able to find. So what is the uh, way that I can go? I can go to the choose columns or something, or I can go to the go to columns. Just click on sales, select OK. So directly I went to the sales column. So this is how you need to use these options. But as a Power BI developer, first thing is you need to have an idea of all the options that because in the at the end of the class I will try to explain all the options. So it will save some time. Otherwise, you need to go and check every time. It will take some lot of time. Yeah, leave it. Not a problem. See here we have this data type over here in the sales column. So what is meant by the data type? What is meant by the data type? Data type means Here, whatever the data which is stored over here in this particular record, we call it as data type. So here the data is stored is a number. Data stored is a number. Yeah. If you select this data type over here, like we need to change this, change data type, it by column. I will try to remove the transformation. This transformation is per case transform data. Yeah. Let us come to the fresh file, right? Sales. What is meant by data type means the type of the information which is stored inside this particular column, we call it as a data type. When I go to the sales, what are the data which have stored? I have stored, this is the data which is stored in the decimal format. When you go to the data type over here, it will show it as decimal number. What does that indicate? This column contains the information which is in the decimal number. Now I come to product name. This product name is, what is the product name? This is the text. So data type text. So that column, the stored information is in the text format. The text is stored. So the data type is text. Again, subcategory, it is also text, right? Go to the subcategory. Then it is also text. When you come to the row ID 1, 2, 3, 4, this row, these are like old numbers, right? The data type is a old number. Order ID. Now you can ask me order ID. That means it has text format. It has number test type. We call it this as alphanumeric. Some text and some numbers are present. When the text and numbers are present, the detected data type will be the text. Okay, that is a text. Now you can ask me come to date. Here the date information is stored. The data type detected as date data type. So majorly broadly we have three data types: text data type, number data type, and date data type. These are the general data types. So here also ship date, it is also date information. The data type detected is date. So assigning the correct data type will be very essential. Otherwise your visuals will go wrong. Now what I will do, now let us go to the home tab. Okay. Now I will try to click on close and apply. I will try to build one visual. Okay. See, data is loading. Yeah, I will go to new page. So what I will do, I will come to order table. In the orders table, I will create one table for you. So to select the table, you need to select the table over here. I want year-wise sales. Okay, year-wise sales. So I will come to the order date. In the order date hierarchy is there year. When I selected year came. Now I select sales. Year-wise sales. So actually what it is representing, total 22 lakhs or something, and 2014 is making 4 lakhs something, 6 lakhs. So this is okay. My visual is performing better. So I got the information. It is very sufficient for me. But now what I will do, I want to go to Power Query. How I will Power Query is for transforming the data. You need to go to the, initially some people get confused. Whether we are in the Power Query, when I am coming to the Power BI, it's very easy. Initially will be in the Power BI. If you want to go to the Power Query, you need to go to the transform type, you will go to the Power Query. In the Power Query, when you click on close and apply, you will come to a Power BI desktop. That is only simple thing. Okay, there is no much queries. From here, Power BI desktop is a general thing. If you want to go to the Power Query which is for transform your data, go to the transform data. Once you go to the transform data, you will go to Power Query. Okay, when you make any transformation and when you click on close and apply, you will go back to the Power BI desktop. Very simple. Yesterday, one candidate was asking, sir, sometimes you are going to Power Query, so how you are going? Like very simple. From there, if you go to the transform data, you will come here. When you click on close and apply, you go there. That is the only simple thing. There is no confusion in that. but orders table. In the orders table, now what I will do, the sales we have taken, right? In the sales, the data type is decimal. Okay, transform data, sales is decimal. Now I will change this decimal data type to text data type, replace current. This is wrong because here we have the dates. Actually, it is a decimal data, decimals. Decimal information told is stored, but I have given the data type as text. Willingly, I have given the wrong information. Now I made this, I want to save this transformation. I need to click on close and apply. When I click on close and apply, where I will go? Power BI desktop. Click on close and see, you are getting the wrong visual. Why you are getting the wrong visual? Actually, the sales, in the sales, the data told is a decimal data type. It is a decimal, but you have made it as a text data type. So for when you give the wrong data type, instead you are the visual you have made it correct only. When you select the see order date and sum of sales, it is showing the errors at sum of lane. The field is data from model and can't be used in the visual. This yes, this field is deleted. Why it is saying deleted? Previously it was a decimal. You have deleted that and you have changed it to text data type. That's why you are not getting the visuals correct. Okay, because a wrong entry has detected because you have not given the correct data type. Now I will go to the transform data over here. In the transform data, I will again go to the orders table. In the orders table, let us go to the choose column. The go to column, I will select sales. Okay. Okay. In the sales column, I will go to the transform tab. Now I will change it to a decimal number. I change, replace the current. Now for the decimal data type, you have given the decimal data. Okay. Now go to the home tab, click on close and apply. Once you click on close and apply, you will go back to your original. See here. Now your values are coming correct. So this is the importance of the data type. They will ask what is meant by data type. It will give the information what type of the data stored in a particular column. They will ask what is the importance of the data type. You can answer if you give the data type correctly, then it will represent the data stored in. If you give the text data type in case of the number data type, in if you try to build the visuals based on that type, so when the data type is wrong for a data type, for a number data type, if you give the test data type, if you build the visuals, your visuals will go wrong. That's why selecting the data type is very important. They will ask what are the different data types you have. Just normal data types, we have text data type where the text information is stored, number data type where the numbers decimals are stored like whole number decimal, and we have the date data types where the date are stored in a particular column. Okay, this is the information that you can give, right? When you look at this data type, see data type represent the type of information stored in the column. We have number data type. If the numerical information is stored, we call it as number data type. Text means text, special characters. That means a combination of number and character. Alphanumeric characters are detected as text data type. Text, text data type. Special characters. If you sometimes your data might contain some special characters, they are also considered as a text data type. The date informations are called as date data type. So text example, customer name, address, product. These are the text data types. Okay. For sales amount, quantity, age, these are numbers, right? We call it as whole number or decimal. These are called number data types. Okay, whole number decimal. Sales date, birth date, time, those are called as date data type. So we have some Boolean true or false is valid, accept or rejected, but we generally will not use. So that is also a data type. Now example for test data type, hello, world, 123 Main Street. See, these are numbers and text, we call it as that test data type you need to give for alphanumeric, John Doe. Number data type means whole number 123 3.14 decimal, we give number data type. Date data type means old date you can give. Some time if you mention that also date or time data type. So if you mention date or time also, you can give date or time data type. 2024 6 you are mentioning time. You are mentioning date, you are mentioning the time. So better you give date and time data type. True or false, you have to give the logical data types. For binary represent this, we are used very less. But very important question, they are not asking this, they are asking this. Unique identifiers are represented in the test data type. What are unique identifiers? You have some PAN card. That PAN card is a unique identifier. No two-person will have same PAN card name. Even your PAN card has AQMPJ8891L is my PAN card number. So it is alphanumeric. It will be instead you need to store, it is a unique identifier. You need to store it in the text data type. Suppose you have Aadhaar card. You say Aadhaar card contains number. I will code it as a number data type. But this is a unique identifier. You need to store it as on the text data type itself. Instead, it contains the numbers. Suppose your postal code sometime 504936. That postal code is also unique identifier. Each postal code, like every region will have some postal code. That is a unique identifier of that region. So you need to code it as the test data type. Some zip codes you need to store, instead it contains number, you need to store it as a text data type. Employee ID, when you join in a company, we have the employee ID. No two employees will have same different employee ID. So you need to store that in the text data type. They will ask even unique identify numbers. Can you name any the number data type will instead contain the numbers will be stored as the text data types. When they ask to give the example, you can say the unique identifiers like Aadhaar card, PAN card, postal code, zip code, employee ID. These are the unique identifiers. There can be instead they contains the number, you will store it as a text data type. They will ask alphanumeric characters are stored as a text data types. Okay. Then if the data contains the date and time string, you need to go for date and time string. If it contains decimals or whole number, you will go for the number characters. If they contain the special characters, you will go for alphanumeric characters or special characters. You need to go for the text data types. And this is very important as a Power BI developer. You need to see sometimes there will be issue with the data types. Instead of building the visuals correctly, then first steps you need to assign your data type is correct. Then most of the issues will be sorted. If you miss at this basic concept, and some people will try as a fresher, they will not check the data type, will start on the building the visuals, and they will check the data where the data is wrong. There is no wrong with the data. There is wrong with your data type. Okay, with this we can finish the class. And any doubts like Neha, Prajna, is it clear? You are able to follow, or is it confusing for you guys? Hello?
It's clear.
Okay, fine. If you have any doubts, that ping me. Like what I will do, like please share your email IDs to me, and if you want to continue the course, or if you still want uh, to listen the classes, because usually I will provide the first three classes for free, and I will give the time to the students. If they like only, they will try to enroll the course. So because I need to share some source files to you, because listening the classes will not only helpful for you, you need to practice the things, right? So I will take the source files and materials and interview questions I will provide for this. And as I said, after completing the Power Query, you will be having the mock interviews on Power Query. Every section will try to take up the mock interviews, and it will be in the Teams only. I will record the session, and after recording, I will share, give some feedback, and I will share it to you on the WhatsApp. So that I will give some feedback where what are the areas that you need to improve. And mostly, while explaining only what are the possible questions the interview will try to ask in the interview, I will try to stretch more. Whenever I stressing the topics on more and particular topic, please try to be concentrate. Like we have discussed what is transform tab and add column tab, what is the importance of this data type, how data processing is taking place, how ETL process are taking place, what is use of advanced editor, because these are the frequent questions they are shooting to the interview during the interview time. So try to frame your keep your presence of mind so that it will be helpful for you to perform well, not only in this mock interview and in the real time as well. Okay. Okay, thanks for joining in the time. I will stop the recording, and I will share the recording to you. And yesterday we had some technical glitch, and today we don't have any problem for that. And thank you. Thanks for your time, and we'll meet in the next class. Bye.
Will you share that PPT also?
Yeah, I
Uh,
will share it. I will share it. I will share it the PPT as well. Okay, so that will be
okay, thank
useful for you. Will be it will be useful, but keep that PPT as a confidential, because don't share it to everyone. Okay, right? I will share
okay,
it. Not a problem. I will see for every after the class you will get the material. You will get the source file. You will get total Power Based service material, and you will get the interview questions, what are there frequently asked interview questions, and apart from topic by topic of each and every class, what are the expected interview questions are there, and those will also you will be get, not a problem. But the only thing, you need to dedicate your time, and you need to practice, and don't follow this methodology. I will complete the course and 2 months I will take for the preparation, I will keep the revision, you will interest will go. That is not a good thing. While if you are completing the Power Query, practice it and leave it over there, and come, because if you maintain the continuity, it will be very easy for you. Okay, right. And thanks for your time. Bye. If you have any doubt, you can ping on me the WhatsApp that I can clear.